Hello, I'm live. How are you guys? I hope you're having a good little vacation break. I'm going to make this video here explaining units 2 and 3 projects that you need to have finished and sent into Texas. I took a little mini break myself. This is why you're only getting this video now. I needed to get my brain back. I'm sure you guys did too. So please try to, not try, finish these before we come back in August because you won't be able to take the next test if you don't finish these projects. They are a little long, but everything in Texas is long, but not really difficult. So that's pretty much where we are as far as the style. I'll be making videos for the next units, the next chapters, I should say. The next chapters are really long. I'll do my best to shorten it as much as possible, but you know how it is, guys. It's complicated, but I'll be making these videos, so come back and watch them as you will. What I'm going to do here now is share my screen, and then I'll minimize this so we get this nice little thing here. And the first unit project, okay, you want to go here, you want to go on units, and then we are down here. We're going to look at unit 2 first, and then you have to go down to end of unit assignments, and then you have your unit 2 project, and it says to pick one of the two projects. Okay, pick one. So you're either going to pick activity 1 or activity 2. I'll break down how to do each one of them. Activity 1 is pretty much an essay. That's what you're going to be doing. So it says here that you want to support the position of why Congress is truly the people's branch. So to do that, you want to have some analysis of the leadership qualities, responsibilities, etc., of both the House and the Senate. But you should also answer the question, how are the representatives in the U.S. Congress chosen? So this is pretty much the way that I set it up. Just write yourself a little essay. And I forgot to do that first part, okay? So, of course, summarize what you said and um, why is the legislative branch the people's branch? Sorry, I'm starting at the end here, but I missed that little question that they had at the beginning. So always read carefully, right? So here you go. Compare the House and the Senate. That should be your first paragraph, okay? You want to give a background of what the House and Senate are, how the representatives are chosen, and the topics that you will talk about in your body, including, obviously, why you believe that this is the people's branch, or I don't know, maybe you don't. But you want to add that in your first paragraph, okay? You want to add that in your first paragraph in the body. So, body paragraphs, compare the House and the Senate on each topic: leadership qualities, responsibilities, election process, qualifications. Compare. So, guys, it's an essay. I don't think it needs to be like one of those mega long 10 paragraph essays. I set it up as 3 essays. I mean, sorry, 3 paragraphs. I don't think it's that big of a problem if you do the same. So, this could be 1 paragraph, this could be the second paragraph, and this could be your final paragraph. Remember, a paragraph is about 5 to 8 sentences, so there's a lot that you can add here. If you feel you can make this into 2 paragraphs, great, then you have 4 paragraphs. And then, of course, you have your conclusion, which you're going to summarize what you said up here, which again, I put just A, but that could be A, B, C. And then why is the legislative branch considered the people's branch, which was your main thesis from up here. And remember, you want to answer that question, how are representatives chosen? I thought that it would be smart to have it already in your introduction. Give a background of what the House and the Senate are, and then follow that up by telling us how it is that these representatives are chosen, and then go straight into the topics that you're going to talk about in your body. So, um, the legislative branches is a very important branch, and I'm going to talk about some of the leadership qualities in this branch, responsibilities, what the election process is again, which is down here, and what the qualifications are. So that kind of repeats itself, but maybe you want to take it out of here and keep it here, or if you don't want to put it here, just leave it down there. But remember that that's one of the main questions that they're asking. What is the election process for the House and the Senate? So that's activity one. It's straightforward. It's a essay. Okay, it's an essay. In the book, they're not giving a specific of how long it needs to be. Generally, from talking to other teachers, they've been saying 250 words. That's about it. 250 words gets you about between 3 and 4 paragraphs. So shoot for that. And if you want to double check, let's see, how many paragraphs are 250 words? Yeah, a 250 word will most likely have 3 to 4 paragraphs in each. Okay, so I think that would work for this. If you want to do activity two, where is it? It was just in front of me. I got the book open here. In your book, it's on page 73 and 74. Then this is a poster. Let me erase this, guys, because as you can see, I have a million pages open because there's a lot of stuff that they want you to do. Oh my goodness. We want to go up, 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 up. And they want you to create a poster illustrating the power structures and functions of the legislative branch. On the poster, highlight a power you feel is most important. Explain the power and its impact in depth. Include your reasoning for selecting it. So you basically need to think about, let's see, we're talking about the legislative branch, the bicameral. It's bicameral. It has two houses, right? Because that's the first thing that they say is how are the two houses structured. So I just found a picture on the internet, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and then I wrote up here bicameral, two houses. How does a bill become law? I put that a little bit below. Okay, why? Because in the beginning, it does ask you to explain the structure. Okay, so I put a little thing here, congressional duties, and I mean, I wasn't going to do the whole project, but I was just getting pictures here from the internet. So then maybe under this picture, you can write very small, obviously, voting, and then maybe I'll make that small, like 21 or uh, 24. They want you to put so much information on just one poster. It's a very busy poster. But basically, I just looked up um, legislative branch duties. So they make the laws, okay? They approve budget. So here we could go voting for laws or making the laws. So that I got that picture there. Here, there's a picture of the budget, so I can just copy. Again, you can use whatever program you want. I'm on Canva because it's pretty easy, but you can use whatever programs. So there you go. Took a little second, but then I'm just going to make it really small so I can fit it in there. So once I get that in there, nice tiny little picture, then I can put Maybe I need to move this down a little bit so I have space. Whatever, guys. You know, I'm not a graphic designer. You guys make really nice posters, so uh, I'm not too worried about that, you know. So I add a little bit of body, text. I'm going to approving the budget and move that up there. So I know that's what we're talking about. Oh God, I hate doing stuff like this. But you get what I'm saying, right? But you guys are really good at this, so I'm not going to stress too much. I can't move this. I want it to move. Okay. this is Phil stressing. Oh, I hate technology. And we work just with technology with these, right? I'm not going to spend. Oh, I just want it to move. Just move. Move for me, please. Why doesn't it go up? Ugh. All right. Whatever. I'm not going to spend. Yeah, okay. This frustrated me. But you get what I'm saying. Put this here. Make like a list of 4 or 5 things which would reflect the duties. Oh, now it wants to go. That reflect the duties of the Congress. You know, what does it do? It approves the budget, etc., guys. Okay, because that's one of the questions. How does a bill become the law? I just found a poster online, guys. Because look, I mean, this whole thing takes up a poster. It's a long process for something to become a law. I don't know how they expect you to put how something becomes a law on this poster, which is already filled with a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just put that there. If this is confusing, put an arrow pointing up or something, okay? So that you know that this is connected to that. Whatever, you know? Do it how you think is interesting, but put that information in there. And then what roles do committees play? So I just found a picture online of congressional committee, right? There's a lot of committee images. And then here, I think it would be interesting if you wrote something right below it and explained exactly what it is that a committee does. Okay, so maybe I can put this here. I can put this here and write on here, you know, responsible committees. Committees are responsible and then, you know, write what they are responsible for. Okay, my spell check is not in English. All right, put it in English. Okay, so committees are responsible for, and then you write what you need to write there on this poster. And then the next question, what role does the vice president? And there's a picture of Mike Pence, who is the current vice president. So maybe here I could write what it is that the vice president does. So I would say the vice president is responsible for, and then dot, you know. Oh, that's a busy poster, right? I tried to put it all on one page. You guys, like I said, are way better at doing these. I'm much more of a writing type of a person. I think I would feel more comfortable doing the essay than doing the visual because my brain works more like that. So I'm sure you guys are going to come up with something much more beautiful than me, but this is the idea. This is your second choice. You can either write that essay or you can make a poster. Make sure that you answer all the questions that they have there. And when you're done, then you go to where you submit your work. You must click on the heading link for this assignment, okay, which I'm sure I don't have any of this stuff here because your Blackboard is different than mine, but you know where you have to go to send in your work, browse your computer, etc., etc. It's there. Wow. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Okay. And understand that technically I'm on vacation. So if I don't answer you right away, you know why. And especially if you send me an email, it's going to be, I doubt I'll be reading emails anytime soon. Okay. So try to contact me via. Contact me via WhatsApp or via JSO or something. So like that. That took 15 minutes. Good. Do you see Mr. Ray, like the middle school calls me? Do you see Phil being completely stressed out? So now we're gonna go back in the book and we're going to talk about the Unit 3 project. Unit 3 project is requires less visual, thank God. Um, But this is what you got to do to make this one work, okay? Let's go back to our full screen here. And you're going to go to your assignments. And then you're going to go back to your units. Although I could have just clicked there, but okay, whatever. Let's go to Unit 3, the executive branch. That's the what we were studying before the break. We go to end of unit assignments. And there you go, Unit 3 project. You got to do both, guys. So don't make this mistake. This one you got to do both. And then you just click on the blue. When you click on the blue, it's going to open up the 2 pages right there. There and there. Okay, those are the 2 pages that we want to do. So let's do the electoral project worksheet first. It's actually not that difficult. It's a little boring, but not really difficult at all. So when you open it up, you're going to get this page and it's going to have these hyperlinks and it's going to send you to this page 270 to win. So when you're there, whoops, it's this page right here, 270 to win.com, historical presidential elections. And on this page, you're going to have all the presidential elections pretty much in history. Look at that, man. Is that Reagan? Because in 1988, that was a landslide. 1980. Anyway, um, so these are all the elections in the past. So why do you need these elections in the past? Because what is it asking you to do on this page right here? It says choose an election year that the Electoral College was in place from the website and include Electoral College vote results. So let's do this and let's do that. So we have a side by side there. So I don't know. Let's just pick one. Let's pick, I don't know, 1940. So I picked 1940 and we got Franklin D. Roosevelt. Okay. And then I want to answer the questions here. So electoral vote results. There it goes, 472. Popular vote, we got that 22 million, write it exactly, okay? I'm just doing it faster. Background information on the election in the issues. Now, this should be up here, okay? So it's saying how the United States election of 32 took place as the effects of the 29 Wall Street crash happened. President Hoover's popularity was down. Franklin Roosevelt used what he called Hoover's failure to deal with these problems as a platform for his election, etc., etc. I thought I clicked 1940, but I guess I clicked 1932. But whatever. So that's the background. So you write maybe a couple sentences here. Pretty much, well, obviously, guys, don't write this. I'm just being silly here. But Hoover sucked. And the economy did too. So FDR came to the rescue. Okay? Please, guys, I'm just writing it just as an example. But don't write it like that. And include why you think the results were as they were. Well, I mean, it's pretty redundant, but they were because Americans were really tired of Hoover and they needed the hope, right? Pretty much. So you write that there, blah, 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 blah. And what states would have made the biggest impact on the election had they voted the other way? Well, in this case, that's a good question. But in this case, it was a landslide. So none, I could say in this one. This election was a landslide. Uh, no state really made a difference one way or the other. Okay? So for that question, I would put that. Now, if I go into a very recent election that I remember, which even the last one was a little bit like this, but let's go into the 2000 election. Let me see if I'm reading this correct. Yeah, the numbers are below. So there's the 2000 election. The 2000 election between Bush and Al Gore is a perfect example because look at that. Al Gore got more popular vote and George got more electoral votes. And the state that really made the difference here was Florida. Okay, so you probably had to do some research to find that out, unless Gore won DC. However, one elector did not cast a vote. The outcome of the race was well known for several weeks due to disputes over close vote totals in Florida. So this is one where one state really made the difference. And those of you that always wonder about third parties, there's Ralph Nader. He got 2 million votes in this election. So that's one election where a state really would have made a difference. In the last election between Trump and um, Hillary Clinton, okay. Oh, look at that. Gary Johnson, my man, 4 million votes for the Libertarian Party. Jill Stein for the Green Party. Evan McMullin as an independent. So again, we have other parties in America. Unfortunately, they don't get that much media attention, so they don't get that many votes. But in this election, there were a few states, okay? And here at the bottom, it talks about Clinton won Maine, but Trump earned an electoral vote by winning the popular vote in the 2nd Congressional District. So in some of these, look, Trump won Texas. However, an elector cast a vote for Ron Paul, another for John Kasich. And you can research if any of these states had they changed. Like imagine if Texas or Florida again had voted one way or the other, if it would have changed. Okay, and one thing that you may need to know to answer that is swing states. Find out which are the swing states. Swing states are the states that don't always vote Republic, don't always vote Democrat. They can go one way or the other. And sometimes people call them the purple state, right? Because red and blue gives me that color. Like there's Florida again, Pennsylvania, Iowa. These are states that have a lot of electoral votes, and it can really change the election because they're not always Republican and always Democrat. Like California is almost always going to vote Democrat. Texas is almost always going to vote Republican. They're more conservative in the South. Okay, whereas these states they change from one to the other. So that could help you with that. And then let's see what else they want us to do in this. So yes, you answer these questions. Look around the 272Win website and look under the What's New tab and give one example of another feature that this website offers that sticks out to you. Come on, guys, that's easy, right? Just pick what you think. But where is the What's New? It's not the news part. I want the What's New. So where do I find that? I don't know. So I'm just going to go here. I can open the hyperlink and let's see exactly where the what's new. Oh, there it is. New features on 272Win. So basically just read this see if any of these interest you. If none of them do, imagine that they do, okay? And get really excited about it. Write like 2 or 3 sentences. And then do some research on possible reforms to the Electoral College. What reforms have been proposed for the Electoral College system? And tell which reform, if any, you support and why. So to answer this question, my advice to you, I'm going to close this page and I'm going to close this page, is Google reforms to Electoral College. There's something here on Wikipedia, which you can look up and see. I looked at this image right here, pros and cons, but actually, I'm sorry, that's moving ahead. So look at some reforms. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of examples of reforms that people want to make. So there's a proposed reform. Actually, they just passed a reform recently for the Electoral College. And Electoral College bill passes. This was like last week that this happened, which it made it so an elector has to actually vote for the popular vote. Bill giving electoral vote to popular vote winner passes. Okay, so maybe not last week. This was back in February, but this is very recent. So now, if the popular vote, people voted 100 to 80, I'm an electorate, I'm part of the Electoral College. I can't vote for the person they picked, 80, whoever the 80 people were. Even if those 80 people voted for me and I'm more close to them, I have to follow the popular vote. So if 100 people voted for Eric and 80 people voted for Leonardo Yamauchi, even though those 80 people also voted for me, I can't vote for Leonardo Yamauchi. I have to vote for Eric, for president of the universe. Okay? So this is a law that just passed. Okay? So you can see that as a reform. But there's other reforms. We watched a video about it in class, if you recall. So look in your book about possible reforms to the Electoral College. So which reform do you support and why? If you don't support any reforms and you think the Electoral College is perfect as it is, write that. Again, 2 sentences, complete sentences is enough for this stuff. And then these guys love visuals, so create a simple collage, slideshow, campaign poster, or other multimedia project that illustrates your thoughts on the Electoral College. What should change, if anything? So if you don't want anything to change, say that, and why you think as you do. I don't know. I thought this was like kind of silly, this extra collage, but hey, that's what they want. There it is. Just make another image. Either keep the Electoral College or don't keep the Electoral College. If you want to create a PowerPoint, maybe 3 slides. And the information is just, then yes, it's this one that I had put here, advantages, disadvantages. So if you say contributes to the cohesiveness of the country by requiring candidates to broaden their geopolitical base. So basically, it forces candidates to talk to everybody. So actually, look, this is a good picture right there because it has a picture of America and everybody. So maybe I can put that here. And then, oops, and then I can just make it a little bit smaller, put it up here, and explain. So it's a collage, but it's a collage that's basically you got to write. So that's why I don't think it's that good of a collage, but okay, whatever. So then you explain, maybe I support the Electoral College, so I'm gonna write the Electoral College forces candidates to talk to all Americans Okay, so that's it. And then if you don't support it, maybe um, faithless electors. Okay, so let's just put that on Google. Faithless electors. Faithless electors. What that means is that it's electors that don't believe that their vote counts. Okay, so let me see what a good image that we could find here. Um, the electoral dysfunction is kind of cool. I like that one. The electors vote your content conscience. Um, oh, I like this. The faithless elector. I love Doctor Evil. That's perfect. So, so yeah, of course, don't put both of these on the same poster, right, guys? Because these are giving two opposite opinions. But if your opinion is that the electoral college sucks, so maybe you want to put something like that, and you want to write something about this here and say the electoral college creates faithless electors who don't believe their vote really counts. Okay, and then you just make it nice and pretty, and that's it for that. We do have to do two, right? But you saw how, it didn't take that long for me to do it. It's boring, but it's not super difficult. That took me what? How many minutes to do that? About 15 minutes. Okay, so we're at the end here, and we're gonna get the presidential roles graphic organizer because we are finished with that first part there, right? Yeah, create a simple collage. Okay, wonderful, amazing. And then we want the presidential roles. All right, this is pretty easy. Once again, not um, not difficult, but a little tedious. You want to find the president and find what role he played that you thought he was good at. You can use current or past presidents and use a different president for each role. Oh my God. Okay. So basically, you're going to have to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 presidents. And this can be difficult only because you don't know every president in the United States and what they did well. So what do you do? Okay. Best head of state president. You go there and you try to find, okay, president's many roles. You try to find the president, even from history, from the history class, that you think really fit this role as head of state. So we have here Obama as a chief executive, as the head of the government. So I could maybe put Obama. Here we have some presidents as commander in chief. So they gave an example of Abraham Lincoln. Here's some Secretary of Defense. Douglas MacArthur was the working directly with the president as that. So you got to find different examples of presidents that fit these roles. If you have questions about this, then you can ask me. Wilson throws out the ball on the opening day of baseball, so he has ceremonial roles. So there we already have a few. So who do you think was the best head of state? Who was the best just president? He showed that he had some order. I'll give you recent examples. People thought Reagan was a good head of state. He represented America well. A lot of people internationally really like Obama. I think people internationally like Obama more than nationally. Bush, not so much. Trump, well. um, but I would say for head of state, those are two good presidents to put, either Obama or Reagan, because they really tried to represent America in a nice way. So let's just put Obama, okay? Chief executive is the guy that everybody understood. Um, he is the leader of the country. He's making the decisions. Agree with some of his stuff or not. I would maybe put Trump as that, okay? Because he seems to, you can agree or disagree with what he's doing, but he really takes that role of I am the businessman, I am the executor, I'm the head of the executive branch pretty seriously. So he could maybe be a chief executive. Head of state, maybe George Washington is a good example. Um, Commander in chief has to do with the army. So try to find a president that was involved in wars. You have FDR, you have Lincoln. Lincoln is the obvious choice as commander in chief. A chief diplomat. So which of the presidents can you think of that tried to make the world a better place a little bit? Try to always create more peace than war. You could you have Theodore Roosevelt, right? Remember the big stick diplomacy. So maybe Teddy Roosevelt is a good choice for that. Obama, some people think that he was a very good diplomatic president. Who else was a good? Obviously Reagan, right? Because he had to. I'm going to change this to Reagan. Reagan was a good one during the Cold War. So that could be it. Legislative leader. That's think of a president that was able to pass a lot of laws. Think of the civil rights era. So maybe John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, or to LBJ, because they passed a lot of laws to deal with civil rights. Obama, more recently with Obamacare for universal health care. So I'll put JFK, maybe legislative leader. Economic planner, well, that one is kind of obvious with FDR, right? With the New Deal. But Theodore Roosevelt, so both Roosevelts are pretty popular for economic um, changes and planning. And a party leader, somebody that really, really, really people associate with their party. I would put Reagan again for the Republicans because he really galvanized his base, the Republicans. Obama really helped galvanize Clinton for the Democrats. They still love Clinton. I'm talking about Bill Clinton, not Hillary Clinton. Even with his scandals with Monica Lewinsky and everything, they still bring Clinton to Democratic events because he is like the face of the Democratic Party. So we managed to get ourselves some presidents. If you're having problems finding a good president for this, talk to me. We already I already talked a little bit about an example of an action, but you got to write it here, okay? So head of state, as Obama, as head of state, we can go back up here, right? And the head of the government is a chief officer. He is, oh, this is not what I wanted to see. Yeah, he's the main guy. He's giving speeches. He's the one that's telling us what's happening in the country. So maybe you can talk about Obama giving a State of the Union address. Okay, giving the State of the Union address is an example of being the head of the state. and you have to link news link in summary. So maybe I can find here, okay? Like I said, it's not difficult, but it's a little tedious, guys. Obama gives State of the Union. State of the Union is when you say what is happening in America. Okay, it's a big speech that the president gives every year. I'm not sure do you do it in Brazil. I'm sure you do. So here is a whole link that talks about it. This is his entire speech. Okay, so I'm going to just give you the link. I'm going to put the link here. They give you very little space here. And I'm just going to say Obama's remarks um, in the 2000, I think that was 2016, State of the Union. Okay, they call it the SOTU. And then they want a visual element. Well, I don't. If you can fit a little picture here, good for you. All right. If then do it. I can't. All right. I'm not that technologically advanced. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to click images and I'm going to click copy image address and say, click on that, people at Texas. Okay. I mean, what do they want me to do? Did I press the right button? Because look at that. But there it is. I mean, I can't fit a little picture in there. If you can fit a little picture in there and it looks good, or if you want to make a different table that is going to actually fit all of that in there, wonderful. But they definitely are asking for a visual representation. You can put a bit.ly, okay, if it's too big. Let me see if I put that there. It's gonna be too big. And it's locking my computer up. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. That's what you have to do. And then you just move on to the next one. So Trump as the chief executive. What is he doing? Is he vetoing bills? Is he trying to pass bills? Is he passing executive orders? Is he giving pardons? Pick something that he's doing as chief executive. Find a news article that relates to it, and then find a picture of Trump signing something. I mean, usually there's a bunch of pictures of Trump uh, on the White House desk signing something. This is killing my computer, by the way, trying to get that picture. But you get the idea, right? You get the idea. But here I'm in the no responding mode, so I'm gonna leave that and move on to the next thing, which is it. That's it. There's no more to say. Okay. Um, so, like I said, Trump signs executive order. So you can just put Trump signs executive order. If you want the image, you're going to have here Donald Trump signing an executive order, and then you get that picture or get the link to that picture, but you got to put a picture there because, we love pictures. And get a news article and just follow the same. Well, there you go, the picture's there. It's little, I don't know. It didn't show up exactly like I wanted it to, but it's there. Look at that, isn't that cute? Okay. That's it, young ladies and gentlemen. Those are your projects. Let me go back to me. Woo, I'm back. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your projects. Look for the lesson chapter. I'm going to do a version here of chapter. I believe we're in chapter 12 or 11. I have to look it up. So look for a video on that. Okay. You can find When I do the some of the further lessons, perhaps that'll help you fill out some of these questions for your project. And that's it. Okay, enjoy the rest of your vacation. Don't stress too much. You did really well this first semester, even though it was difficult. But I think it was more difficult because we were trying to catch up. So don't get behind this time, and I won't either, because I think we kind of know what rhythm we need to move in. And that's it. I'm out of here. Okay. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.